Alright, got water. Big ups. Oh, Daniel said let him know when he can pick up our audio.
Uh, tell him
You say
when
right now.
draft starts.
It's not working. Come on, keyboard.
Oh.
Why can't I type? Hello, keyboard? Why does everything fall apart on me? Right when I need it to not.
I don't know, man. I just work here.
Can you message Daniel and say you can do audio now? My keyboard's not working.
Mm-hmm. Uh, this is not the right account.
There we go. Okay, I let him know. Are we live? I can't tell if we're live.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Oh, well. The draft is on.
Oh yeah, draft's been drafting.
I told Daniel we were ready, so we're probably good to go whenever.
I also let him know. We'll have to see when it's up.
Yeah, so Sejuani first pick blue side. We have Maokai, Darius, Garen bans on SAIT red side for Kansas University. And Tristana, Urgot, and Ari bans on the for against the state draft here. We got Sejuani first pick here. That is likely Sejuani jungle, I believe. Their Kansas University has a Masters jungler, Diamond top laner, Diamond mid laner, and Emerald bot lane. So we'll have to see here. We got Trundle Braum on R12 for the state side here. I'm not too sure how this will look. This is looking quite beefy already, but I think Trundle's a good pick into the Sejuani here.
Yeah, picking lots of tanks early is very interesting here. The Nico pick into the Trundle Braum.
I think that's Nico support here.
Yeah, I
I'm
would
thinking Nico into
be
the
more inclined
Braum.
to say Nico support as well. I don't think Nico mid this patch is all that great, but who knows? It might be a flex for them.
Hmm. I wonder because Nico into Braum, I feel like you wouldn't be able to get much of a root off. No, the Braum shield blocks it.
Yeah, I feel like the Nico value into Braum is not that great.
That is a Hui mid, and honestly, from stateside here, I'm thinking like, would Galio mid be a good pick here? No.
I think Galio could be a good pick here.
Yeah,
You
I
see
think
lots of AP on from Kansas, so Galio could be a good pick up here. They do have to think about their damage though here, because I feel like if they go Galio, they're a little bit shorter on damage. Varus pick with the Braum.
I think that's a pretty solid bot lane there. I'm not sure if they can flex that mid at all.
Yeah, could be a potential flex pick here. Same thing with the Nico. I highly doubt they're gonna flex the Huye Nico with the bot mid there for Kansas, but looking at stateside already, not too bad. Waiting to see what this mid jungle duo is here. They're gonna try and pull off with the Trundle.
The Syndra band there. Are they trying to think that's way APC? If they're still banning mid laners there, that's kind of interesting.
It could be Hui APC, that is true. But yeah, Galio ban here. Makes sense from them, especially if they were going to go double just full AP. But even still, the Trundle Braum might be a little bit much if they want to run more AP than they already have on Kansas side.
That's very interesting. And yeah, there's that Galio ban for sure. I honestly think they
Yeah,
should have R3'd that Galio. In my opinion, I think the Galio would have looked pretty good here. And
I
Yone ban
agree
to
with
top it
that.
off with the
Yeah,
Sate bans.
yeah. Syndra Yone kind of just stops Sate's engage. Yone on the back line is gonna suck, especially with the Varus.
And then I wonder what else they would go and look to ban here on
Yeah,
for their last ban.
there isn't a Fury still up here for both sides.
N- I'm
I don't.
I'm not too sure
I
that
don't think.
it plays Neferi at all, and it doesn't look like
Yeah,
um Kansas does either. Actually,
yeah.
their mid laner has it, but
It
it
could
looks
be.
like their mid is already picked here as well.
I mean, they could if they're gonna pick an AD mid. It could be a flex for the Hui APC.
Mm.
Ziggs mid lane, or it could be Varus mid lane with Ziggs Braum bot lane. I kind of don't think that's a good combo though. So I think we're gonna be seeing the Varus Braum bot lane.
And six mid and getting that pushing power to be able to rotate two objectives is super
That's
important,
true.
and being able to match Hui push as well there is going to be uh it is oh and there is the Neferi pick. That's a little deadly, I think, into the into the
Yeah, it looks
Ziggs.
like it's gonna be Nico Hui bot lane then into the Ziggs
How interesting.
with the Renekton pick. Yes, two strong AD picks to round out the top side from Kansas.
What kind of
In terms
Varus
of
do you think that we would see here? What
in
build?
this game, you're probably just gonna want to go lethality. I feel like actually, hmm, with the way that the whole team looks, I would probably say you go poke Varus with Ziggs if poke Varus is still good. Um, because you're gonna want to try and set these fights up where you poke them down before you're able to look for engage. Because Neferi, Renekton, Sejuani with Nico, they're just gonna look straight onto you. That, or if you want to just play for like catch to catch the engage with Braum and everything, you could look for on hit Varus. I think that would still be good. I think either way, it would work. On hit maybe a little bit better, just based on how aggressive the front line of Kansas looks.
Yeah, Kansas team comp looks super aggressive here. And just get on top of you and get it over with sort of thing. And when you're caught with not a ton of mobility here on the SAIT side, it could be looking a little rough, but we'll have to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, the stateside definitely looking like they're lacking a bit in terms of damage, bursty damage for the Neferi and the Renekton. But the Varus ulti, the Braum ulti are going to put a big wedge in the engage from Kansas. So I'll have to see what they can do here.
I think you just want those extended SAITs going for like those more extended team fights front to back more likely, while Kansas just wants to get on top of whoever they can get on top of and just burst them down. So it will really depend on how each team plays it out and focuses here.
Yeah, Kansas definitely, like you said, wants to they want to play more split team fights, try and make that space with the Sejuani and the Hui utility in order to take some disjointed fights. And Sate definitely needs to rely heavily on their front to back with the Braum, Scion, the Trundle. Being able to play that front to back is going to be like that extended front to back with the poke and everything is what's going to let them win these
I
team
think it's
fights.
very much so protect the president sort of comp here. You have to protect your damage, which is really only your Varus and your Ziggs, and then really rely on if you really want to be doing any side lane stuff, really relying on that Trundle to go and run down the one or two people that are there and hope that they don't catch you in a team because you get Sejuani ult, everybody's slowed in the area into Nico ult, into Hui ult. But they have
Yeah,
pretty good
honestly,
compensation with the Neferi here though too.
honestly, with Sate's draft, the Varus pick does feel a little bit strange. Looking at how they're drafting. It looks like a lot of the initiative for winning these fights damage-wise is on the Varus.
Yeah, and I think it's like if we're going like easier to execute to harder to execute, I think Kansas has the easier to execute team comp here because really you want to it looks like you just want to get to that mid game to be able to get those fights while SAIT is kind of you still want those fights but you want them to last a lot longer than I think they are. But
Yeah,
we'll just have to see how each team plays out here in this game 1.
yeah, definitely. We'll have to take a look and see here. I think in this early game, I think we're gonna see SAIT. I think is gonna want to try and win this early game. I have a feeling that if they fall behind in the early game, that mid game is gonna become so difficult, especially if the Renekton or the Neferi get ahead. Taking those mid game fights is gonna feel really bad. All right, and we're just waiting for the pick ban here to go through on the client, and then we'll be into the game shortly here after about a little 2-minute wait there.
Maybe as we're prepping up as well, we can see like I do think it could be oh gosh. Yeah, Neferi mid AP bot lane. I mean, if you're going just poke range bot lane, it's gonna be so rough for that Braum to play, and Braum will sort of be able to neutralize that, I think, but it's gonna be so hard for him to even get on top of them because you have Nico disengage, you have Hui fear disengage. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
little rough down there.
yeah, and this bot lane, they're really gonna have to play on the wave states and try and get that gank in there from the Trundle, try and blow sums, re-gank. Otherwise, I don't think you're just gonna be able to pull something off here in terms of getting a kill in bot lane until level 6 when Varus can force something.
I mean, all you can really hope for here is like mid doesn't die too much, like or the Ziggs doesn't die too much to the Neferi is able to get those mid wave pushes to be able to move to those objectives here. I think it's going to be super important. And with a Scion, I think you're going to want to be moving for those at least first 3 grubs. I think is going to be their best bet while everybody is still low on items, low on resources, and then just give the other 3 here and then move more towards drags.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think making use of Ziggs Prio in the early game here to get Prio onto Dragon when bot lane is going to be lacking since the Nico Hui should always win this Prio battle here. It's going to be really hard for Varus to solo clear the whole wave. And the Scion has pretty good clear into the Renekton as well. So hopefully being able to use that, get some timing on the grubs, maybe cross map when Kansas goes for Dragon, or at least be able to contest those grubs, I think early is going to be pretty important.
And even just having those grubs pushing power on the Scion, like being able to do work in the side lanes if your team isn't going to be looking for those big bursty team fights and you're going to be taking long exchanges, you have to be able to do things across the map, which grubs will be so good on the Scion to be able to do.
Yeah, definitely. The grubs value for SAIT this game is very high with how they want to play the game with this team comp. Yeah, for Kansas, we're just gonna have to see how these lanes go because depending on how this Neferi Renekton lanes go, I think that could determine the outcome of this game. To be honest.
Yeah, and that really just comes down to knowing, like, just being able to stay. Oh goodness, what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
Stay ahead is what?
no, the word has slipped my mind. Um, I'll think of it. But being able to keep yourself in check and making sure you're not overstepping, you're not being too greedy on plays. The amount of mistakes that is made here in the first 13 minutes of the game, 14 minutes of the game is going to push the outcome for the rest of the game. Even I'd say the first 7, 8 minutes of this game, whatever happens with the first 7, 8 minutes is going to really push heavily on who's going to win this game.
Yeah,
Because
because
If Nefiri gets any sort of ahead right now, Nefiri is so broken, and she's just going to run through all of like your two damage dealers, your Varus, your Ziggs, and you're not gonna have much left after that, and then everybody else is just gonna be really sad.
yeah, the Ziggs and the Varus here are so vulnerable to the Neferi, and not only that, you're gonna have the Renekton on top as well. So even if Neferi does fall behind or is even, I don't think that's such a bad state for Kansas, so long as Renekton's ahead.
Yeah, and I think it'll also really come down to you have the Nico that could possibly like that wants to be on top of you, the Nefiri, the Renekton. This is where the Braum does come in to be a really big strength play, is able to get that slow off, get that ult off, provide some peel, but that's gonna come down to very, very precise and precision gameplay from the Braum.
Yeah, the Braum is going to be vital in making this comp actually be able to be executed, because without it, if you don't have the passives going off and the combos with the Trundle and the Varus being able to burst targets or zone them, at least that Varus can hit, your team fight's going to fall apart really fast.
And my only worry is like the Braum is the only one really stopping anybody from getting on top of that Varus and that Zig. So as long as the Braum knows the role in the team fight, I do feel like Zig could come on top of a lot of these team fights. If Kansas just runs it down and tries running them through lane, running them through jungle or anything, that's the extended team fight that SAIT wants. So it'll come down to a lot of patience, a lot of uh, I'm still missing the word that I really,
Yeah,
really want.
discipline,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes, it
Yes.
is discipline. A lot of discipline. There's gonna have to be a lot of trigger discipline here.
Yeah, and the vision control too is going to be very very big here, because if say
And we're loading into game here. All right. After some technical difficulties, I guess, we have managed to
We're
miss
back.
almost nothing.
Let's go. That's
We could not
fantastic.
watch the game at all because Tyvin was having some technical
Yeah,
difficulties
that's
here.
my bad. I don't know what's wrong with my client, but wouldn't let me in. So let's see what's going on here. Game state. What's going on?
Um, bot lane even uh LeBron James slightly ahead in gold.
Yeah, looking good with the Ziggs
Jungle
here,
about
winning the
even
push.
and top even. Not too much interaction going on here right now, it seems.
Yeah, looks like SAIT's trying to set up here for some sort of bot gank with the push. It's pretty good for them there. Some trading heavy going on in the top lane here. I so we see some good push going on. Trundle on that Gromp right now is going to look for that Scuttle Crab here, maybe, or going to look for a gank bot lane. Does look pretty gankable bot lane. Don't know if SAIT knows where the vision is right now.
It's getting, oh my goodness, then if Fury's getting pretty cooked right now. Zig's getting low on mana. A little bit of poke in the bot lane. Oh, we got a flash, a Sejuani flash going mid right now. Oh, and that will be the Nefiri is down.
Nice. Good setup on the mid play there from SAIT.
Good 2v2 from jungle and mid lanes for both sides. Then if you're going down is so
Yeah.
huge, it gives LeBron James some lenience.
You got to
Brum going in. Hui hit the fear flash.
take
They
that
go and
flash out
they
of the
turn
bot
on Nico
lane.
right now. Nico
Yeah,
stun.
the
Oh my
flashes of the
goodness.
bot lane we're going to see here. There's a potential angle for a kill here if we see the WQ from the Varus. But it looks like it's going to be on cooldown here. Going a little bit too deep here. Kansas turning it around.
All
All
flashes
the
down in the
flashes
bot
burnt in
lane
bot lane here,
now.
but really low. Oh, not quite enough there for the kill onto the Nico.
Brum is so strong, but just chasing a little too deep under that turret. They're getting a little bit too greedy, and that's where we come back and we talk about that discipline again.
Yeah, the extra chase wasn't needed, especially after you get that Hui flash there. You can threaten a lot more. It's definitely a lot more worrisome to play uh, from Hui's side.
Yeah, and it's looking like there's no sums bought for either side. The Sejuani is pathing towards top side, the Kansas jungler.
Yeah, it looks like
And
SAIT's jungler's also matching here. Potentially a setup for Grubs is what we might be looking at. Bot lane's basing here as well.
Hui just used teleport bot lane. Like, this is a really good play. Yeah, and Braum is running out towards Grubs right now.
Yeah, there is a potential look top here actually, with Death Laser hitting 6 soon here on the next few minions.
And absolutely, you're seeing that Nico is mid here as well. We'll be possibly seeing a skirmish. There's no prio top lane right now for SAIT. So I wonder if they'll help that out. Renekton gets first move. Sejuani's looking for something. Braum gets a little bit of an auto off. Just a
Yeah,
couple of little
gotta reset
scratches.
here. Yeah, just reset here. Let top get that push in now that Renekton walked down here. See if they can get the push out top and look for contest maybe. Slow them down a little bit on it. They do have the mid prow as well here.
And even just one grub here, if we're able to grab one grub here, I think that would be good.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna get pushed off Grubs here. We're gonna have to go towards that dragon here.
Untargetable. Nice. Good champ.
Yeah, the new Nefiri W. Very powerful escape tool. Looks like
But
we're
they
gonna see an
just
all
chose
in here
to
from the
give grubs
Renekton
and they're
onto the
just
Death
going
Laser.
to take dragon here as well.
Yeah, it's got some cross mapping going on here. Death Laser gonna get out mostly unharmed here. Doesn't manage to get the wave in though, which is rather unfortunate for his current wave state. No
That's
TP
fine. I mean, you
either.
gotta do what you gotta do. Vars doing some good poke here.
Yeah, not too bad. The farm in the mid lane is looking good. Everywhere else, pretty even. Not too bad. Jungle is a little bit behind, but overall, not too horrible. Gold wise, you're still keeping up there with that kill that he got.
And so Zig's mana issues here in the early game is gonna definitely hurt me his TP here to get back to lane. As Braum is just returning back to the bot lane. Oh man, I love Braum.
Yeah, I know you've got quite a fixation for Braum going on these days. There's
It
a
just happened.
is quite a entertaining champion in the way that he's played.
He just has a big shield and he goes stand behind Brom, and then it's
Yeah,
just over.
you can't hate on the big guy with the shield who likes poros, you know.
I mean, there's gotta be a um. Oh goodness, what was I gonna say? Then this guy's gotta get nerfed at some point. Oh, we're gonna see a little bit of a skirmish in the
Of
top lane
course.
trying to get on top of the
I think
Renekton.
this top
Renekton
tail
has
is
to already
still
get out,
holding.
and that burns Renekton flash there.
We do see looking for the dive here. However, the Zig's gonna get caught out, able to W over the wall just fine. Renekton's still looking here, but it's a little bit hard. Sejuani gonna get chased down here. The Neferi's there. They could look for a re-engage here onto the Ziggs here. Ziggs is going to go down here to the Neferi. We're gonna get to see the ulti reset here, and it's all falling apart here for SAIT. Neferi showing
And
up there, not able to
Sion
get
gets
the kill
out.
off.
The 0 for 2, it doesn't look too good there for SAIT at all. I mean, Ziggs was 400 gold ahead, but unfortunately Jungle has to die there too and loses a little bit of tempo.
Yeah, very unfortunate fight. They couldn't clean up a kill early, overchase a little bit too hard, let Neferi come, and lost their man advantage there.
I mean, now that puts Neferi up in gold as well, which is unfortunate. Jungle is up in gold, and top is up in gold, while bot is staying relatively even,
Yeah, the
which is
Neferi
pretty
right now
good.
pretty happy in the position that he's in. With that extra gold's going to take a recall and hopefully be able to pick up a full item here. Yeah, looks like we see bot play going on here. Going to be going on to the Hui. Hui's going to go down potentially, almost. Yeah, flash chomp from the Trundle there, able to get the shutdown onto the Hui. Pretty good trade there. I think accidental flash key from the Ziggs. Is that what I just saw? No, different flash sound effect.
Different flash sound effect.
Don't know where I heard the flash sound effect. I might be hearing things. That's all right. So we got the gank onto the Scion here. Are they going to be able to pull it off here? It's pretty
Oh
close to
my
his
goodness.
tower, but the CC chain is good. Guess they ulti off in the end. See if he can clear the wave. Maybe get a little bit back on that, but doesn't look like it. This
There's
Renekton.
two ults there though too. That's Renekton ulted Sejuani
Yeah,
ult that's going to be down for a little bit. Oh my goodness. Brom
that is
shield
two good
does
ults,
not
but they
block
will
like
get the
7
grubs off
dogs.
of that, though. They did rotate their bot lane up here to try and look for a grubs contest, but unfortunately, they're going to have to go up on that because of the death top lane.
And
Yeah,
we have the
SAIT here
second set
losing
of
out
grubs
on.
that are up as
Yeah,
well.
SAIT here losing out on some resources here. They want to try and get at least one grub, but the fight looks a little late. Brahm's a little low, and the Scion there has to catch that top wave. Next objective coming up here is Drake here. Hopefully they can get some push here and set up some vision for that dragon coming up.
Oh, that's Noveris ult for Dragon as well. That's so unfortunate.
Ooh, a little bit of a blunder. I think they're using it on the Neferi when he has his W invulnerability there.
They're looking for something here in the bot side jungle for some reason, I
Yeah, but we
guess.
do. The Braum here does need a base though for the wards.
Not even for the wards, just for his health. Like this is going to be so hard to fight with the health state that he's at right now.
Yeah, that is very true. Looks like we have some technical issues really quick here. Yeah, stream should still be going here, but a couple technical issues going on our end here from our spectator side. Looks like we're back, maybe? Oh, we are back. Nice. All right, what happened? Sejuani's dead top. Where'd the dragon go to? Looks like they weren't able to secure that dragon. But they did manage to make a pretty good counter gank top here, it looks like. That is a fed Trundle.
Oh my gosh.
Down 40 CS though, so it does look like it should be quite even for the Trundle in terms of gold. The Nefiri running forward onto the Ziggs. W unstoppable. Doesn't have the W to help him. Looks like the Zig's going to be going down here. Flash over the wall.
And
Ignite
this is
ticking.
oh, Neferi flash there as well. But I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's like you get your low mobility mages, and there's just nothing you can do when you have a point and
Exactly.
click dash on top ability.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to see the Hubris first item from the Varus. In my opinion, not a good first buy. Would have preferred to see something like a Yomu, something to help space here in these fights with the flash from the Varus forced out. Also, two key summoners for this next fight here from both of the damage dealers on SAIT.
I mean,
They
up
gotta
here, yeah.
they gotta start looking at whether or not they want to even contest this next objective with the solo lanes and even the Hui looking pretty comfortable on Kansas here. They should maybe try and look for a side play off of this Herald play where they're gonna overload. But it looks like they're gonna still try and contest even though they are down. And we're going to see the Braum here getting caught out. Flash ulti to escape. Manages to get out and reset the fight here. But with the lack of ultis, maybe with the Varus ulti, they can make something happen.
I mean, I don't think they can contest this in any universe. Like it's 5v4 for Kansas here, and you have your Ziggs bot lane. What he has TP, but I think there's more value here in getting just some standing gold off of these turrets.
Completely agree. Getting first tower mid, getting first tower bot, honestly, just so much more worth it for SAIT than it is for them to try and contest this Herald, which is not even a 50-50. You see Kansas immediately going to throw the Herald down the mid lane. They want to trade this tower back
Getting top
ASAP.
cleanse on the Varus for the Sejuani ult. Way ult comes
Fight
out
looks
onto
quite
the
good here,
Braum.
actually.
They'll keep
Sejuani's going to
freeing
go
this.
down here. Nico's caught in the back line as well here. A little bit too deep. Is going to whiff the E onto the
Beautiful.
Varus. Varus is going to survive on 1 HP. Ends
No,
up
Varus dies.
dying to the tick damage from the Hui. But overall, not too bad from SAIT.
Pretty good. I mean, yeah, that Herald is fun to ride and you could Tokyo drift around the map, but going there into three other team members, I'm not too sure if that was the
Yeah.
the bestest of
Kansas.
ideas.
Kansas just sending it down mid lane without the Neferia or the Renekton. No setup. They don't have any sort of damage. Yeah, they burnt the cleanse on the Varus, but that's not enough to kill him on its own.
I feel like
You gotta
having the
burn.
Ziggs on sides is doing so well to negate anything from any towers getting taken on sides here is what's doing a really good job at right now. And
Yeah, the
because they
Ziggs.
went pretty even in lane, I think it's enabling him just to get away with it because Neferi can't just jump on top of him and just kill him instantly.
Yeah,
He's pretty safe to sit under tower
Neferi.
and clear.
Yeah, if the Ziggs does step out of tower though, we are looking at a position where Neferi can go on him. Um, but we'll see how that ends up looking as Kansas moves on to the second Drake here. Looking like they want to make a play top with three members overloading this top side. The Renekton's going to give it up here. And we're going to see a top tier 1 taken from SAIT here. Looks like Kansas is going to try and shift into bot here and take that tier 1 as well. We're going to see tier 1s traded across. However, SAIT still has that top tier 1 up.
And good Ziggs ult here, I think, just to clear the wave. All those dogs take turn aggro is crazy.
Yeah.
Good champ, Redo.
Neferi, yeah, Neferi rework is looking interesting to say the very least.
After all those nerfs too, still a champ.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think having the invulnerability on that W is a little bit too broken, in my opinion.
I mean, this game is looking pretty solid, even minus for jungle here. Really, I think is the only really big difference.
Yeah, in terms of gold, straight even across the board, we're just gonna have to see how these team fights end up being executed. Because like we were talking about in draft, um, the draft from SAIT is a lot more disciplined and harder to play than what Kansas has to pull off in order to have success in these team fights. You're looking for this top tier 1 here. Death Laser's going to back off of it here as the Sejuani comes up. Flash needing to be blown from the Hui there. As we see the Trundle Pillar and Domain going down in the mid lane. Otacon spawning topside here. No other objective to contest for. Looks like we're going to see both teams converge here on this objective. Jungler wants to get a base off here. I think he has a second item in base, which will be quite good for this. Oh, not quite enough gold for that second item in base. See
And
Kansas Supreme Vision here.
Kansas is gonna take their turn here and move into the topside jungle. Take this red buff here. Sake does know what's happening, looking to collapse here.
Yeah, the Ziggs, though, in a caught out
LeBron
position
James
here,
getting a
is able
little
to get the
caught.
W off.
Possibly Hui ult to burn. Flash is burned as well.
Very good
Varus going,
Varus
still
ulti onto
fighting.
the Hui here on the bottom side. Ulti in from the Scion, not going to catch anybody here. We got two fights going on, split fight here. Looks like the top side is winning for SAIT here. The Hui is out of the fight. The Neferi is out of the fight. It's just going to be the Renekton here on cleanup duty, but he's not going to be able to do it. It looks like an out angle for
Amazing
Kansas.
fight, really, for Sato. It was so unfortunate that that fight was so split, but it's I mean, it's what you get when you're fighting in the enemy jungle and you're not coordinated. Flash Q.
Flash forward, yeah, we're seeing a TP in from the Ziggs here as well, trying to make a play onto this Hui, get
Brom
him
stand
down
on
here.
the way dies! Get behind Brom! Sorry.
Yeah, the Braum very good at catching here if he can hit those Qs and get those passive stacks off here.
Oh, I love
Hopefully
Brom
SAIT will be
so
able to
much.
look at a Otacon angle here. Looks like they're just gonna
Again,
take the time they got from that just to take a little bit of the jungle here and maybe reset here for a
beautiful kiting from
another
LeBron
play.
James. Did you see him throwing down those packets just to give himself some space? Renekton was trying to get on top of him. The Sejuani was trying to get on top of him. Nefiri was trying to get on top of him. Oh, we have Canon
All
Nico
right,
gameplay, my favorite.
it's very good. Don't
Oh, and
need
now they're
to
taking the bot side of the jungle. Oh
don't need
my
to
goodness.
glaze LeBron James that hard, you know. We
No,
already
gotta
know his greatness.
we have to glaze LeBron James. He's the OG, the
You know,
backup sub getting called up.
sometimes you don't have to call out greatness, you know. Sometimes you can just see it.
But chat needs to know greatness, you know?
Chat will see greatness as they watch. His
But what if
high
they don't
IQ
understand?
gaming.
Mm.
Looks like this Otacon here. Neither team wants to touch it.
During
IMO
this period of
objective.
downtime, I'd like to remind you guys to of our sponsors, Coca-Cola. Teehee. Oh, no such money
Yeah, big
alt! The
Coca-Cola.
fairy alt
We're gonna
comes out to get
sidestep
on top
here.
of the
All the
Brom.
util's
Oh,
gonna come
that's not
out.
even. Oh
Neferi
no,
is
and the
gonna find
Varus
the
goes
Varus here.
down.
Dragon is coming up in what, 10 seconds? Looks like it's going to be a free dragon for Kansas here. Let's see what
Yeah, they're
SAIT
already
does
looking
here.
at it here. Renekton
Yeah,
pushing the bot lane here. Somebody's gonna have to push him
yeah.
on that.
We see, yeah, the TP out top here to counter the top push. But they are down a man though with the Renekton or with the Scion TPing in. They can look for a potential fight here. No Neferi ulti either to get on top of anybody.
Nico
LeBron
alt
James
comes out.
spacing very well. The Hui is going to go down here. This Scion and this Trundle are too tanky.
Who beefy? Wow. Wow. And free Dragon Force SAIT. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it looks like with the way that this is going, looks like SAIT
Rom!
should win.
Rom Q's the Nico and Nico is down!
Yeah, looks like current game state, SAIT is winning pretty hard here.
This is
Um,
looking so good.
the tanks up on SAIT have enough items now to just live through the squishy assassins here. The Renekton doesn't have that black cleaver there to shred the armor, so there's nothing they can really do. All the gold is on the Neferi right now, and frankly, he can't do too much in these fights other than get a pick.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting those Neferi resets, there's not much you can do, especially if you're getting stunned, knocked up,
Yeah.
CC'd.
And I do think that was a big misplay from Kansas there, honestly, because the Renekton TPing top in their face when they're still looking to contest, like, well, well, Sion still has TP there. Like, just hold the TP, make sure you get that objective secured, and then you can look for the TP play afterwards. If you lose a tier 2 for it, in my opinion, it's worth it. You're putting yourself on soul point. You lose a tier 2, it's okay. You can look for another play onto the tier 2 at another point in the game. But losing that team fight is going to be a pretty big swing for them.
As now Kansas is going to look up to use their turn to get some vision on the Baron, because that is going to be our next big play here. Is this going to be a big team fight? Is somebody going to get picked? Brom doing Brom things, just walking in, trying to get some vision.
Yeah, this Braum can just walk all up in here. Doesn't really care too much about
This
the
is
enemies because they
Brom's
don't have
map.
anyone that can really do much damage to him. Yeah, there's no kill pressure from Kansas onto SAIT here in these fights here. We're gonna have
They
to
can't really
see.
do anything. Sada's been doing really well on collapsing very fast
Yeah,
on
they're
these
making good
fights.
decisions on the snap calls here. I think we're gonna have to see items wise here what happens because I do think Kansas still stands a chance if they can get those items online for the Renekton, uh, and get the armor shred.
Renekton built a
We
Bork.
went Blade's second item.
Huh?
Hmm. Yeah, looks like we're
Oh,
gonna be seeing. It's gonna be very hard for Kansas to take these fights. The armor from the Braum and the Trundle and the Scion is just a lot to deal with here, and they cannot take this here. They do not have the damage enough to take this objective. However, SAIT is slowly trailing up, and so they will actually get away with it. Not going to
and
be able to claim the
they're gonna
flowers.
be gardeners. They're gonna grab those flowers from them.
Yeah, not going to be able to claim the flowers, but they will get that nice 25% objective bonus for the souls that they have and for the grubs, which honestly is what they want the most out of that objective. Just gonna see everyone take a reset here, take a little breather. Gonna see a little bit of a farming going on here until a team can set up for Baron here. Brown James waiting on some support here in the mid lane so that he can push up here and get the wave pushed out. Get some prio so that they can move into the topside jungle there and get some vision. Looks like they are thinking about Dragon there. As there's the Dragon ping from the Fury on the side of Kansas. Scion here walking down into two of them is going to spot both of them out here. Dragon spawning soon. Only a minute left. SAIT is going to get some vision here onto the Dragon. Recon from Braum here in order to reset the wards so that he can come back and re-clear. Good timing and rotations here from SAIT. All the
And then
gold
it's a
on the
little bit of
Scion and
the downtime here now before Drag. Drag is up in 25 seconds.
yeah, the gold influx that we saw in the last couple fights going on to the Trundle and the Scion is gonna be a big factor in whether or not SAIT wins these fights. Cause look at that Scion, man. He's
That's
got
a beefy
almost 4 full
Scion.
items. He's
That is
almost
a
2 items up on the
beefy
Renekton.
Scion.
I don't know if there's a
Oh,
single
is Neferi
person.
caught here? No. Neferi
Neferi
flashes
getting
out.
caught out, gonna have to burn the W
No,
here.
Varus ult.
No Varus
Scion
ulti.
ulting in. No. And then they
Nothing is
just get the
landing.
pile.
Everything
Oh
going
my
wide
goodness.
here. TP from the Renekton isn't gonna be able to get caught out there in the pit. Lots of ultis burned here. SAIT does have the mid power though. Someone has to answer that. But with the way that this is looking, it looks like Kansas is just going to have to look to pull the trigger here. This is the front to back that we mentioned that you want to see from SAIT here. Sejuani ulti going wide here, the Hui going in. We see
Way
the
all
front
down
line
on
getting
the
out
Braum.
the Neferi onto
Renekton's
the
in
back
there.
line and the
Oh my
Renekton onto
goodness.
the back line. This is exactly the type of fight that you want to see. LeBron James going down pretty low here. Looks like we're going to see him getting taken out by the Sejuani. The Trundle still in here trying to get what he can done, but is going to flash over the wall and try and make it out. Death Laser running for his life, but isn't going to be able to outrun the Neferi.
Say did get that
Unfortunately.
dragon there though. They did secure that Drake. So
They
now
did
they
get
are
the
on
dragon.
soul point for Ocean Soul.
That is true, but they are going to lose the Baron here, unfortunately, for that play. Yeah,
Yeah, that is
unfortunately,
so
front
true.
line getting a little bit too aggressive up in there, not letting their Varus and their Ziggs get the poke down that they need to, not paying attention to those side flanks for the Neferi and the Renekton. And
Yeah,
that
and
was
that Neferi and
ultimately
the
what cost them that team fight.
Renekton flashing in and hitting that was so huge.
Yeah, and you can see how volatile this game is based on the team fights, right? Like you see all the previous fights have been looked so hard for Kansas, but the second they get a good angle with the Neferi and the Renekton, the fight is almost impossible to play for SAIT. Yeah, that Knight's Vow coming down onto the Varus, hopefully give him a little bit more survivability in these fights.
Oh man. I
All
love
right.
Braum so much. I'm so happy Ethan's playing Braum.
I feel like you've just been talking about Braum for the whole game.
I love Braum.
Distracted
Braum
by
is
his
such
big
a
muscles or
beautiful
what?
champ. Well, what I'm also, I don't see anything else happening on the map right now. Everybody's just waiting for waves while they're waiting for Baron to run out. Might as well just talk about how great of a champ Braum is right now.
Sure, you
What
could
a
do that,
beautiful
or you could
champion. You
explain
could play it
what's
with
going on.
everything. Hmm?
I wouldn't say everything, but he's got quite a big range of things that he could be played with. More so than some other champs.
Do you even remember how to play League?
Listen, man, just because I haven't been playing recently doesn't mean that I don't know what the game looks like. All right.
LeBron James, my homie.
Yeah,
They're looking for this bot tier 2 here, definitely.
yeah, they're gonna try and force this bot tier 2 up here, but SAIT should have enough resources here to be able to hold it. But the Hui is making a lot of space. They are worried about some sort of flank here, maybe. It looks
They're
like.
kind of scared. They look a little scared. They look a little
Yeah,
scared to me.
waiting for that next wave to come in here. I think this tier 2 will go down here. Just whether or not they can get the Baron buff to fade out here is really the big
Oh,
thing for
Renekton has
SAIT.
his Black Cleaver now.
Yeah, the Renekton has the Black
He's
Cleaver
gotta cook.
here. Scion's not quite as tanky as he once was into this Renekton anymore. We might want to see some switch ups on the side laning here and get the Ziggs into the Renekton
Now
maybe.
where this Renekton is now is pretty illegal. I don't know, his entire team is back to now.
I would agree if there was team to stop him, but we'll see here.
But they don't need a team, cause Trundle is there. He just goes num num and he's dead, brother. Holy
Yeah,
moly.
the Trundle pretty
W
fed
plays.
here.
Yeah, that was illegal for that Renekton to be up that far alone. That late too with his
Yeah,
entire team basing.
that was pretty good. I did not think there that SAIT was actually going to be able to catch him, but I guess I forgot about the Trundle slows, huh?
And do be like that. Trumbull goes munch.
He
Trundle.
does munch. Trundle's a big muncher.
Big muncha.
It's got a big stomach. I can relate.
Yep. No arguments there.
I mean, who doesn't like to eat, man? Come on, like, show me one person who doesn't like to eat.
I don't know, man. Put it in chat if you don't like to eat. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, let me know if I'm wrong here. If we got some people in chat who dislike food. Got Dragon coming up in 1 minute here though. SAIT not able to set up the vision in time though. See if that ends up affecting how this Dragon fight is gonna go. The sound going top here. You're just gonna match the Renekton here. TP wise, we're looking even on TPs.
Now
Sion
we're
does
prepping
have
for
that ulti though.
this is Soul. This is Soul now. The Soul
This is Soul
points.
Point for SAIT,
All
yes.
alts are up.
Yeah, and it is an Ocean Soul, which for SAIT is going to be pretty much GG because they are already so tanky and their comp is so heavy on just being tanky that having this Ocean Soul is going to make fights for them so easy. We did see the Ziggs did get chunked there and looks like they're going to have to back off this Dragon. It's going to go down really fast here. Not able to contest, but potentially looking for
Oh,
the
so
afterfight.
close. LeBron James throwing the 3-point from the bot side jungle and just misses
Yeah,
the drag.
airball though, unfortunately. So not going to be a soul for SAIT, and instead they're going to be put onto soul point here. See, Death Laser walking up a little bit too far here. This Renekton here, he's going to get that Black Cleaver online. He's going to be able to shred this Scion right now. Hui is coming up as well here. Renekton has a mobility. It looks like the Scion will fall on side here. Still has the ulti. Is going to have to burn it if he wants to get out. Does manage to just barely make it out there. However, SAIT is pushing onto the bot tier 2 here. Hopefully able to collect this while the Kansas team went top side to try and kill the Scion. Scion does have TP here. He could look for a play onto this bot tower. Or on this bot play, sorry. I didn't even realize they took tier 2. When did that happen?
I don't know. Pay attention, I guess. Skill issue.
It's okay. You don't know either because you were busy paying attention to Braum. It's all right.
Yeah. Stand behind Brom. Yo, this Nefiri, brother. Ah. She almost stepped up too far.
Almost. Not
Almost,
quite
but not
enough, though.
enough.
She does have that W, though, to get out, though. And the flash is still online, so.
Our
Something's
next
better
objective
than
up
a
here
fairy would
is
have been nice,
Baron in
bro.
10 seconds. Kansas is taking this time to take jungle. They're up about 3k gold right now, almost 4k.
Yeah, they do have the pride on the map right now, but they are going to want to... Oh, never mind. I lied. They don't want to base. There's a Rabadons on that Hui. That Hui is scary. However, he's going to get caught out here. Is going to
Flash
have to
off
burn
of
the
play.
flash.
Brom eating dogs with his shield.
Yeah, Braum is, just blocking everything up there. Making sure Nefiri can't get past him.
Stand behind Brom.
Yeah. We could reset here from holy smokes, that Hui was sitting on almost a full item in base. He's got the Oblivion Orb and the Magic Pen Crystal. Don't actually know the name of that item or that component.
Building 2 items at the same time. Oh, Brom is in the bush. And Say has
Yeah,
first move on this Baron right now. There looks like they're trying to... Kansas is trying to get in there. It's not quite able to do much at the moment.
they do.
Renekton's bot side. Side is forced to match there. Bar's getting some stuff off here. Getting some poke.
Yeah, the Ziggs caught up on the
We have
top wave
started the
here.
Baron.
The fight is split here. Sejuani ulti still here. Should look. Is not going to pull the trigger on the top side. That might cost them for this team fight. They're going to lose position here as they have to go back and catch waves.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just bleeding, that gold and that XP, that lead you have is slowly gonna go away. Oh, mother.
Yeah. And again, we're just going to see another all-in from the Renekton, just wanting to fight here. Is going to be cautious, though, of the missing members of SAIT here on the top side. Doesn't quite know where they are. Backing up. Looks like he's going to look for a play on this top side here. However, the Neferi is going to get caught out here by the Trundle. Gonna get smacked up a little bit here. Lose the Knight's Vow, or not Knight's Vow.
The redemption?
Edge of Night.
Oh, Edge of
Not
Night.
redemption.
Oh,
There's
the
no
shield.
redemption in this
Shield.
game.
Or
Yeah, the
the
Edge of Night.
redemption.
Yeah.
I
Gonna lose
could
the
have
Edge of Night
sworn.
here.
I could have sworn I saw a redemption go off.
That was
And it did go off. It
uh
says Juanies. Oh my gosh, you're gaslighting me.
that's my bad. I didn't realize Szechuani had a redemption. I was trying to look for it, but it was grayed out there. So
Kansas
looks
is
like they're gonna
looking for
start up the
Baron
Baron
here.
here. Yeah, they do have quite
Oh
a.
my goodness.
Ooh,
LeBron
is Ziggs
James,
ulti gonna
Varus
hurt
ulti
here?
goes off. Trundle goes
We're gonna
in,
see
starts
the.
attacking the Sejuani. Renekton's looking, trying to look on the backline, look on the Varus. Varus has to flash away. Baron is getting lower and lower. And
Oh,
Safe
the
gets the
steal.
Baron. Varus is trying to get away from the Renekton, has to hit a cleanse. Renekton is down. Neferi has to. Oh my gosh, I don't even know Neferi abilities anymore. Oh my
And if
gosh,
you're
the
W,
beast is
but they
gone.
left the Sion alone on their base
Zion!
here. Yeah, the
Broom!
Sion.
Stop her!
Yeah, the ulti from the Sion gonna go on. The Fury is gonna be able to make it out here though. Not quite enough to turning radius there to catch the Neferi. The Baron going over to SAIT is quite good, especially given how that team fight went. It got quite split there.
I mean, we have this Baron on the Ziggs, which is huge. We have the Baron on the Scion. Dreg is coming up. This is Ocean Soul. SAIT is not up for it. 4 Kansas members are already on it.
Yeah, looking like it's gonna have to be a give on the soul. Potential steal look here from the Ziggs. I think is worth a shot. Isn't gonna get it off here. Push out that mid wave here. Hopefully they can push through that mid and that top with this Baron.
I think we
And
need a TP top, uh, in my opinion, but
yeah,
that's just me, I guess. I don't
I
know. Yep,
think
there it is. I think that's
yeah,
a
there
little
you go.
late, but
Yeah, they could have been hitting the tower already, but I think the pace is still okay on the play here, given that Kansas did do drag.
oh my goodness, the turn damage is crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see a group here from SAIT in order to get some of these towers here if they want to siege. Got to make sure that you have your Trundle on the side and your Scion ready to rotate so you can
I think that you want that
cover.
Scion on the side and you have 4 mid for the siege while they're trying to get out this bot lane here. I think is
Yep.
your best bet.
Yeah, have that Trundle nearby, that Braum nearby to space for the Varus and the Ziggs here. I say the Ziggs is gonna walk back top lane on his own. Not too sure about that one.
And you just have wave clear here. Going at it.
Yeah. So they're gonna regroup mid here, just constantly clearing these waves for SAIT. The Hui wave clear is quite good though, especially into a Baron buff as well.
We have Scion pushing top here. It's pulling the Neferi towards the Renekton's going in on that.
Solo
We
lanes
have
of
a
Kansas, you're trying to pull
4v3
the trigger,
looking.
but
I mean, all you can really do here is poke with them this close to their base. Neferi has to dodge with her ability.
yeah. How long is left on the Baron here? It looks like Kansas might have to give up a tier 3 tower potentially. Good
Sejuani
Sejuani.
goes on. Bomb shield stops it!
Yeah. However,
As
the
it very
Neferi
left
is
for
going to
the
be on site. The
engage.
flash
LeBron
out from
James.
LeBron
Oh, big
James is
Nico
going to go
ult.
down. The Nico ulti is going to be huge here. Both carries are down. The Trundle, can he do anything? No, it is an out angle. Yeah, that is the type of engage you want to see there. The catch onto the carry so that the Neferi can jump on top of them with
We
the
just need
ulti.
Scion. We just need Scion to get out here. If Scion is
Yeah,
out,
if
Scion is out.
he does have ulti still, I do think he should burn it here and not be greedy on the base, but
What is this foot race I'm watching right now?
yeah. He does,
This is
like,
looking like an
Sion
end
needs
angle
the
here.
base now. It is definitely an end angle here. I think Kansas might just end the game off of this. Sion potentially should look for the ulti angle here to get the wave. Is going to go for it. No Baron for Kansas, but the wave is already on the tower. Looks like it's a little bit too late for SAIT to save the game here, and Kansas are going to be the game one winners here in this series.
Wow, what a great first game. What an
Yeah, that
actual
was
beautiful masterpiece of a first game.
yeah, that was quite a good first game. You know, usually
Honestly,
a lot of the time,
that didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go at all, to be honest.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
a lot of the times with these games, you know, you see you see a lot of these games end up being very one-sided. Especially when you see a draft like that where it's like one team has the full send, one team has front to back, and it just comes down to execution. But for how the game was drafted and everything, that game was pretty even, I would say. Look at that Renekton damage doing work. Holy smokes. 46k from the Renekton.
Thank goodness gracious. I'm just trying to look at a
All
vision
right.
score. Oh my goodness. Big vision score.
Looking good here. And we are going to look to head it into game two after a short break for the teams here to be able to recoup, go use the washroom, get some water, and redraft here. And we will see you guys back in game two.
I guess we've gotten into our second round of draft here.
Yeah, audio looks like it might be a little bit desynced on stream, but hopefully for the second game we can sort it out.
Hopefully. If not, then you just I don't know. Same
Yeah,
bans
unfortunately
for
can't.
both sides. Tristana, Urgot, Ari.
Potential jungle pick here, I
I
think.
wonder if they're gonna 1-2 Ash Braum here or Ash Seraphine,
I
possibly.
could see Ash Braum being a good pick 1-2 here,
I'll
especially
pick
given
the Braum,
it
please. Pick the Braum.
looks like Kansas likes to play that aggressive all-in style there, which Braum does a really good job of shutting down. The
And then they just
Hui,
opted to pick away the Hui here.
not
Interesting.
too bad of a pick there for the mid lane on SAIT there, in my opinion. Not the
I
most
mean,
experienced mid laner out of everyone that I know who plays mid lane, but
he
he
has hands.
does have he has hands and he has really good macro. So putting him on champ where he doesn't have to worry so much about the laning phase of the game and worry more about the macro and just relaxing it out until you hit that mid game where macro becomes more prevalent makes a lot of sense for me.
Jinx being picked here for Kansas side. Lulu is up. Could we see Jinx Lulu? Possibly.
Yeah, I think they're definitely readjusting their draft after the last game, and not being able to get through those front lines was definitely a lot harder for them. They did end up winning the game, but not being able to get through those front lines definitely had an impact on them potentially losing the game. So good to see them readjust and take a different angle here. The
And they
Syndra
picked
pick gonna
Syndra
come out as
mid.
well here. Yeah, just trying to pick some strong champs for their laners here, dropping their support top lane to 4-5. The Wukong pick for SAIT. In my opinion, the Wukong pick is really good in the jungle, especially given Syndra Jinx. Being able to have the mobility of the Wukong and able to still get on that back line despite the Syndra QE, regular E, the Sejuani, a quite good Lulu. Excellent ban.
Beautiful Ben.
Looks like we're going to want to see some more dive to go along with this Wukong here from SAIT.
I think Braum would be a good ban here for Kansas. They should ban out some supports they don't want to see. I mean, their Jinx isn't that mobile, so just like pick things that'll stop her from moving.
Yeah, the Braum ban definitely something they could go for. I was gonna say they could look for a pick angle, but then again, Braum R4 is definitely a little worrying if you let it through.
Mm-hmm. I think here banning Emilio would be
Emilio
decent as
ban,
well.
yeah. I think I think Emilio ban here could make sense
They
from.
ban the Seraphine. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean I think the Seraphine ban's a lot better. She gets to have access through the front line. And we're
Mordekaiser
probably gonna
ban here as
see
well.
another tank from their top laner on SAIT this game, since that is what he is most comfortable for. Nautilus pick. Good setup, engage, spacing for the Hui Ash. What could they be cooking in the top lane here for the counter pick?
I don't even know, honestly. Like, I mean, we
Yeah.
would need to see a top laner to
Could
even
be a Gwen angle. Nami
Nami.
Jinx.
Hmm.
Nautilus top. Counter pick support.
I mean, it could be possible. I mean, you never know.
Could be. I don't think
And
SAIT's
was
top laner though plays or plays Nautilus.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Not to the degree that he could make it work top lane, I think. But Renekton.
Running
See what
it
kind of
back.
counter we got into the Renekton here. This guy is a Renekton merchant or what? What am I looking at?
I don't. Yeah,
I
I
mean, he
don't know.
did. I mean, he did do 50k damage last game, so I guess I can't say too much, can I?
Hmm. That's
Set.
interesting.
Not too bad.
No, it's not terrible. I mean, if you want dive, you got your dive.
I
Is
definitely
it?
don't think they're going full dive though. I think it's
No, they're
Wukong
not.
set is disrupting fight here, and you just want to try and split a fight with the Hui Hash. Use the Hui util to split a fight. Get set to like ulti Renekton out or ulti Sejuani out, or into the other team if they can. Get the Wukong in there, cycloning it up. Nautilus ulti for engage. You have that snap engage with the Nautilus, the Ash arrows. Definitely not a bad draft from SAIT, and I think they're good on damage too.
I mean, and you are kind of lacking a lot of mobility here on on the Jinx, on the Syndra. I mean, like for Kansas, they want their good old front to back, and with SAIT, they're more so just kind of. It seems like they want a little bit more chaos, almost.
And I think the bigger issue for Kansas here is they don't really have any reliable engage.
Mm.
The Sejuani
Yeah.
ulti, sure. Sejuani just going in, also sure. But I think if Sejuani just goes in, Hui just dumps his kit on her face and she can't move. And following up after Sejuani just queues in is going to be really hard.
It's gonna be
Whereas,
interesting. I mean, you also have Nami, you have Nami Wave, Nami Bubble. Like, you would have to go for more of a almost like a Renekton. Renekton Sejuani are your only engages, and then you follow up with Nami Wave there, and then you just pray Jinx is just able to hit and get a reset off
yeah, I
on the
mean,
team.
they need to play to catch whoever goes in first. So when that Nautilus hooks in or that Wukong jumps in, they need to hit the Nami wave, the Syndra combo. They need to one shot someone and get that reset. And that's what's going to allow them to take over in the team fights.
Hmm.
Renekton is kind of on his own to do his own thing. So
I mean, that's what it
whether or
was
not,
last game for the longest time, though, too. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it
But
was kind of just an island top lane. I mean, Sejuani was up there a lot. It seems like Sejuani likes playing for that top side a little bit more than that bot side, to be honest.
yeah, and especially last game, that makes sense given what the matchup was. But this game, I would hope to see at least a little bit more action on the bottom side of the map. Yeah, let's see. This early game here, I would expect the Jinx Nami to be able to get the push, but I also would not be surprised if they decide to give it up from the Nautilus pressure.
I mean, I
Um,
would honestly look here, like I would just stick a word for your 5 point, and I would have Ash Nautilus run up and get that brush prio there, and pray to get a hook onto the Jinx Nami, get them out of lane, and have a pretty free strong laning phase there. Hui has perma
100%.
push in lane there while Syndra is getting her stacks. I'm not sure how Wukong Sejuani goes too much, nor Renekton stack.
Wukong should just win in the like straight up 1v1. Yeah, Wukong does have more damage than Sejuani in the 1v1, so Wukong should be winning that jungle matchup. And the Set Renekton matchup is Gonna be mostly down to skill because they both want to be on top of each other and fight, but it's gonna be whether or not Renekton dodges that set W because that true damage spike in the middle is gonna be what determines whether or not he wins or loses that fight.
Hmm. I don't. Obviously, it'll come down to champion micro, but at the same time, it's just like you have to know what your win conditions are.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like Kansas wants to go a lot later with this game. Seeing the Jinx and the Syndra, they want to scale, get the passive online, get the items online for the Jinx, and try and play those post game fights or the end game fights there, mid to end game fights.
It's definitely going to be interesting, I think. Well, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to
Yeah.
see how it goes. I think bot lane early can have a lot of push, and like once you get Jinx behind, it's like it's gonna be so impossible for her to do anything in the game. So I think your main objective should be making sure that Jinx can't do anything, and then one of your second one should be don't let this Syndra get too many items too early.
Yeah, I think the Hui in the mid lane is going to be able to neutralize that Syndra pretty well, but I think the bot side is where we're going to see a lot of volatility in this game. I think both junglers are probably going to start pathing the bot side here and try and get their bot lanes ahead or cover or something of the sort. Whether or not it turns into a gank or a cover or counter gank, we'll have to see based on how the bot lanes play the lane state.
I
All right,
still
we
think
are
they should
just.
walk up in bot lane. They should walk up in bot lane and get that so easy.
I do agree, but there is potential for them to lose a level 1 trade if they do end up whiffing something. So they could go for a little bit
Well,
safer and
yes,
just play.
obviously, like if they go and they hit and
Yeah.
they have that discipline to
Mm-hmm.
like be like, oh, if I miss, like that's kind of just the opportunity's gone. Just play out lane, however. But for sure, they go in, they look for a hook, they look for a hook on that Nami or like that Jinx. I think either or there is
Yeah,
good too. It's
the
just
early
with Ash
trade.
slow root, and they
Mm-hmm.
can't move. Ignites
Yeah,
deceased.
they could definitely get a free flash. I think is what they'll get.
A free
If they
flash.
get a kill, I think it's a misplay from Kansas. But if they are able to get their flash, I think it's what should happen if they play that early aggression.
Yeah, they should play the early aggression. IMO. That's just
I
me
mean,
though.
With Ashnautos they should. But Jinx and um, if Jinx and Nami are able to walk up with the wave and get onto the wave, they should win Prio with the Jinx rockets and the Nami autos.
We
So
will
we'll have
have
to see
to see.
how it plays out. All right,
Cool
we
beans.
are
We're going into
in
game
game.
2 of the finals here for NACE Spring 2025 Varsity Plus.
I don't know
And
why I was expecting you to say 2024.
I said it really slow.
Yeah, I'm in last year still, I
And
guess.
what in the world are Nautilus is going towards the top side? What are they looking for? This is so interesting. Or are they
Yeah.
gonna stop a ward maybe?
Yeah, it looks like if I do recall, they did look for an early ward last game, so they could just be looking for to counter any potential ward here from Kansas.
And here Sejuani walks. Possibly? Fucking mid is
Yeah,
so
it looks like Sejuani's
interesting.
gonna try and walk
Oh
up.
my, and then it's a
Nautilus focus is
Georgia.
gonna go wide. And it looks like we're just gonna reset back to lane
Just
six
reset.
here as
Yeah,
the
go
minion
back
spawn
to
soon.
lanes. Just go
Hmm.
back to lanes. I love that Nami chroma.
Yeah, Sejuani still gonna get the ward down. Gonna get bopped a little bit, but ultimately it's not gonna make that big of a difference.
Oh, now that's gonna make a bigger difference on her clear.
Yeah, gonna be a little bit rougher on the clear, but if she still gets that full clear off, then ultimately it should be okay.
That face skin is so pretty as well. What a beautiful face skin.
It's quite a good Hui skin. It's the one
A
skin where you can't
brown
tell the difference
James.
between all the abilities because they are all the same.
Syndra has missed all 3 CS.
Yep. Looks like they
Oh,
decided to
mama.
play back on the prio.
Bot side is going to be weak sided here, actually. Set's going to tickle Renekton a little bit.
Trade.
Top side.
Yeah, both
Nautilus is
junglers.
going to look for some goofy little. Oh, my Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, Hook's gonna fall a little bit short, but Ash is there to cover. Able to walk out. Looks for another one. Gonna whiff again. 0 for 3.
Oh,
Unlucky.
really? Unfortunate. It happens.
Yeah,
He's
you
hit
know.
the terrain more than he's hit champs with that hook.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it happens to us.
Happens to the best of us. It happens to me all the time. Ah, beautiful. Ash abilities. Oh,
Oh,
oh my
corner
goodness.
pull.
Death Laser 999 is clean with it.
He's cooking on the set. The set is one of his most played, so not exactly unexpected from him.
Going to go. It's Lavert's looking for another Nautilus hook. Probably a bad idea under turret there, but this wave is pushing back into them, which I think is really good for their bot lane. Both bot sides are weak sides, so they're kind of just put up for free to kind of just do whatever
Yeah,
they please.
both bot sides getting weak side again is definitely interesting.
I really think they should have let that wave push back into them. IMO, my opinion.
I definitely
That's just
agree,
me.
but I can also see if they know that their jungler's top side that it's not too bad pushing
Oh,
into them.
good sidestep on the bubble there. W toes.
W toes is crazy work.
Okay. Leave it alone. Oh,
Gonna go
big
down to the
Nautilus
Ash
hook
here.
from Lover onto the Ash or onto the Nami ignited. Nami's gonna try to heal out of it. Forget she's ignited, and
No,
that doesn't let her heal, and nothing there. But Nami is super low mana,
no
running some
Sunsprint yet
pots.
here.
Oh,
Gank
Sejuani
coming onto
swap
the top
again.
side here.
Surprise, surprise.
Gonna have to
Besides,
back up
gonna have
here.
to
Set
flash
going low.
out,
Gonna have to bring the
ignite going
flash.
down from Renekton there as well. Gonna have to go home. But better to go home than to the timeout screen of death. Renekton goes in, flashes, and gets
Oh,
the
flash
first
W.
blood.
A
That
little bit
sums down
greedy
on
on the
top.
stay there from the set.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think if he had stayed maybe under tower a little bit, he might have been able to do something, but intriguing.
Yeah, pretty relaxed early game. Oh, good hook
Good
down onto
hook from
the
the
Jinx here.
Nautilus.
However,
Bubble hit on the Ash.
yeah, have the Nami bubble is gonna come back and save them here. Ash going forward. Sejuani is here on the bot side though, looking for another gank. Wukong pretty close over
Looking
the
for this
bot
ward.
side.
Sejuani's spotted on that ward too.
Yeah, however the bot side of Kansas is a little bit too low to force something here. Nami
Oh!
gonna try and bait the hook here with the heal. Ends up getting the bubble onto the Ash. Gonna go over the wall to Sejuani. Not quite enough there. The Ash gonna barrier the Nami Jinx too low here to fight, but the Sejuani is gonna get rehooked in and is gonna go down in the end here.
What
That's a lot of
a great
resources burnt
pick.
here
Yeah, that's a lot of
for
resources, and what a great pick bot side too in that 3v3. Nami and Jinx are way too low to do anything. Way too low on health, way too low on mana. And if they get any closer, that hook just falls onto them and it gets them a more valuable kill. And it looks like now Kansas is going, they're pinging grubs right now.
yeah, they definitely have to look to play towards this Renekton now, especially since their bot lane fell so far behind now. This Ash is gonna base with a BF sword and base, yeah, and that's gonna be quite brutal for the Jinx who only has a scout slingshot.
This Renekton
Which
has
is
tabbies, which makes it so hard to go into this set right now. Oh my goodness.
yeah, there's no way for Set to really fight into him. However, we're gonna see the TP cover from the Hui, hopefully allow the Set to get out of the lane state.
Good rotation here too. We have our Nautilus and our Ash mid lane. And it looks like they're gonna want to look at these grubs. They have 5 people top for these grubs here. Big
Yeah, they
grubs
definitely
fight
have to
possibly gonna
commit.
work out.
Gonna see
Big
the Set walking up here is gonna be a little bit fast. Gonna try and buy some time with the ulti here onto the Nami. Flash from the Hui
Ooh.
is gonna get the ulti down. The Sejuani is gonna go down. The Renekton falling soon after here. The Nautilus gonna come up to stun him here. Syndra on the side is gonna try and get some work done. Isn't able to get the set though. Nautilus chasing after. Wukong chasing after. Looking for the Syndra still. Syndra gonna get hit by the hook here, but is still gonna be out, I believe. No, never mind the slow. Gonna have to burn the flash on the Syndra here. Should be a free grubs for SAIT.
Beautiful play, but I say beautiful rotation while that Jinx is just pushing that wave in. Death Laser is gonna go down to pick up that wave. And forget a Sait's gonna finish up those grubs.
Yeah, they
And
definitely make a pretty good play there. They did lose 2 plates and about 2 waves bot though, so the Jinx is definitely not that upset with the play because she gets to come back a bit here.
I mean, but for 3 kills on those grubs as well, and getting 2 of those grubs, I mean, it could come out to be decently even, but you're getting kills onto that Ashe and that Wukong. And especially that Ashe is going to be a problem because she has all this peel. She has this set, she has this Wukong, she has this Nautilus, she has Hui, Fear, Slow. And I think she's just going to be able to hopefully hit for free in these fights.
Yeah, definitely. I think this Ashe is gonna go pretty untouched here in these fights unless Renekton can do something about it. But even then, the slows I think is gonna be enough to keep him off of her. Yeah, right now Kansas just looking to slow the game down a little bit, get some more gold on their carries, get some more items on their carries, and hopefully they'll be ready to look for the next objective up here.
But Nautilus clearing vision there on the bot side. Syndra is moving down. Possible lane gank here. LeBron James has recognized that his laner is missing. But she's just gonna wander her way back up to mid.
Yeah, both junglers on opposite sides right now. However, they're both clearing to the same side. So we'll have to see here. Looks like Sejuani is there faster, so we're gonna have to play a little bit of a slow game here for the top laner of SAIT here if he doesn't want to die to this gank.
And our next objective coming up here is we have the second set of grubs in 2 minutes. And I guess the Dragon 3.
Ash Arrow coming up looking on the Syndra on the mid lane isn't gonna go by. Unfortunately, no pick there onto the mid lane.
Oh my
Gonna find the hook onto the
Georgia.
Jinx here. Ash going in with the autos. Gonna be able to get it down pretty low. Heal down from the Nami. Ulti onto the Nautilus is gonna land from the Jinx. That's a kill for Kansas. That was looking
That was
quite good for them.
interesting. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an overstep
Oh
from the
no.
Nautilus here. Ash is also gonna go down here as he walks up again with the Sejuani bot side. Gonna try and go onto the Jinx here though. Is gonna get stunned up and taken down by the Sejuani.
I think that hook was a little greedy under the turret there. I mean, like, all these engaged champs, I think you just want to push under, like, have the wave on your side of the lane. In the most ideal situation, I know it's not always, but that engage there, though looks good, you burn the Jinx cleanse, but then you just are trying to tank for your AD and it just doesn't go as planned.
Yeah, you get the cleanse and the heal, and then you back up there for sure because Ashe at this point in the game doesn't really have the damage to get those bursty dives that you want.
I mean, we're still looking pretty even here on gold, which is like we saw in the first game. It's like the early game's looking pretty close.
Yeah, the misplay in the bot lane definitely bringing Kansas back into the game for sure.
Second set of grubs coming up here in 15 seconds.
Yeah, good wave state for the set in the top lane here. Is going to start trading though, and Renekton hoping his team can come up and look. We do have the early look here from Kansas. SAIT going to be a little bit slow here to contest. They do have the Ashe arrow though for an engaged start here. Going to find the catch onto the Nami, but no one there to follow up for the Nautilus. We do see the base from the set here. Going to try and TP back in. Grubs ended up resetting. What a disaster there. They're going to lose position on the Grubs now. SAIT able to walk in. A little bit of trading here in the bot lane between ADCs. And it looks like Kansas is going to give up the Grubs here. This Wukong right now, it looks so strong. Got that first item there, the Sundered Sky. 2 kills. Pretty happy in this wave state. And the set definitely is very happy top lane. Being
Oh,
able to
look
play
at
the
that
zone
wave.
game here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Get him off of that. Run him down. Ah. Oh no. Our LeBron James is getting a. Oh wow, that
Ooh,
hits.
that hit is
That hits is kind of sketchy.
kind of
But
crazy.
that does
However, he will
burn
go
Syndra
down.
ult and Sejuani ult.
Yeah,
I
Syndra
swear
and
I've
Sejuani all
seen.
down. However,
Oh
they did.
my
Oh,
Atlanta,
good flash from
Georgia.
the Renekton. Gonna ulti him back to the tower and try and get out for safety here. Got both the flash and the ignite here. However, Death Laser does still have that flash
And the
up.
ultimate.
Yeah, the pick onto the mid lane here.
Oh,
Looking for
big
potential
Wukong
dragon.
ult.
Nami is gonna
Nami
get
is going to
engaged
go
on.
down.
Exhaust on the Wukong doesn't really do much here. Jinx gonna try and put down the Chompers there to buy some space for the Sejuani, but not quite enough. Gonna flash over the wall. Have a weird interaction there with the hook, and ultimately will go
Oh
down.
my
That is
goodness.
a dragon
Beautiful.
for SAIT.
Beautiful. 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 I mean, Ash just got to hit for free in that fight, like I said. It's like once you have people standing in front with all this other forms of CC, then you're
Yeah, the
kind of
pinch
free
with
to
the
go.
Wukong Ash Nautilus on the side there onto the Nami. A little bit out of position there. The Sejuani opted to go exhaust this game, which is something I had just noticed. Very
Interesting.
interesting choice,
Intriguing
given
almost.
yeah, given what SAIT is playing. The exhaust almost is int in my opinion, because
Yeah.
what use does it serve that having flash wouldn't be better?
I mean, you have the I guess you're just trying to stop people from getting on top of you or on top of team members. So it's like if they try to step up by you, you can hit the exhaust and then just nerfs their damage, and that's for your set, for your Wukong, for your Ash. But even then, I'm not too sure. I could see
Yeah, I
why it
mean,
could be an option though.
I do think that if any of your carries are in the position to get sent on, um, you should be in a position to be able to peel for them without the use of exhaust, because I don't think exhaust is gonna burn the damage enough. Oh, the ulti is gonna land onto the Jinx though. However, they're taking this fight 2v2 with or 2v3 with no vision here. Ulti from the Jinx onto the Ashe to finish off. A little bit too aggressive. They don't have any vision there. They know that Renekton is still top side, but they don't see anyone bot side. They see
And
no
that's a
one on the
shutdown
map.
they just gave to the Jinx as well.
Yeah, a little bit of an overplay on the mid wave.
Well, hopefully they can just recover from that. Nautilus looking to go in, just gives a big ult.
Sending it
Wukong
again
ult
there.
hitting the heal
Jinx,
there.
yeah,
The Nami goes
is
down.
gonna take the Nami, but the Jinx is gonna keep looking here. Does have the red buff here for the slow. The Hui taking down the tower on the bot side is gonna
Oh
whiff
my.
his fear and is gonna go down in the end to the Syndra for the bot tower.
Interesting. Rift Herald is coming up here in 20 seconds. Drag is about 2.5 minutes out. Kansas City, I've noticed, has just had like a little bit more of a move onto these objectives earlier rather than later.
Yeah, they do tend to be the first one to most of these objectives, and that honestly I think says something about their setup, which is very important in making these fights easy to play. Looks like we're seeing everyone hover topside here. Even Kansas not opting to go for that free bot tower down there off this objective, but instead wanting to contest the Herald. The set torn between pushing the top wave and coming down for the Herald, but
I mean, I
Kansas
think
is going to
it's
make the
better they
call.
just yeah, it sounds like Sage just gave the call to give here because there's just too many resources getting dropped to
Yeah.
go. Lavart
Looks like
going
the
in
pace
to get some
looks like
vision.
the pace on SAIT is just a little bit too slow for these objectives here. They keep rocking up when they're either half HP and then they're not really sure if they want to call it, is what it looks like.
I mean, I feel like Herald there is just a fun objective to give. It's not really game breaking.
Yeah, they did end
Um,
up getting the mid tower for it, so it's worth in the end, in my opinion. You go tower for tower with the Herald, you know.
yeah, I guess so.
They could have gotten a little bit more out of it, though, in my opinion, if they had made the call earlier.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do. But the next objective up here, Lavart's caught. Alt Syndra tries to get out, gets
Yeah,
stunned, gets Jink rocketed, and he's down. And this is going to be a hard dragon fight. Herald is going down bot. They're gonna open up that bot for that bot pressure.
yeah, and the reset coming off for everyone here. They're gonna lose the bot tower, and they might even potentially look for a tier 2, but ultimately, I think they'll just look for the dragon off of the Herald. Where is this Syndra going with the Herald? Looks like they're going for mid lane. She's gonna end up whiffing that onto the turret. Oh, she landed it.
Dang. Tokyo drifting out here on the Herald for free.
I actually took your drift and really good arrow onto the Syndra the pick there. Wukong gonna hesitate to pull the trigger though. And Syndra will walk a free man. That is incredible. Syndra walks out there. However, they do gain position on Dragon off of that.
I mean, they've already started.
Kansas.
Dragon is at half
Yeah,
HP.
Kansas looking to try and walk in here. Sejuani trying to make some space here though. Is getting chunked down. Still is so very tanky though. TP in from set here to deter. And Kansas will pull off here and take the tier 2 consolation here. She TP in from Hui. They might not lose the tier 2 at all.
Beautiful. Oh.
Instead, we do see the set here getting caught on the midway, but SAIT is not there to follow up. Wukong gonna try and flash out, gonna get chased down by Kansas, is gonna go down in the end, and they will claim the mid tower as well, as long with a mid tier 2 it looks like they're going for. A little bit of a blunder from SAIT in my opinion. They're getting caught on the mid wave after they made such a good play on the dragon.
And then that's just all of topside jungle. Oh god. Bye bye.
Yep, gonna be a little bit of a loss for them on the top side jungle there. I keep noticing that SAIT are making these plays that are very beneficial for them, but then they uh, end up either overplaying and losing out on their lead that they had, or they end up trying to make an extended play and end up failing the extended play.
I think that comes back to the discipline as well, right? And how confident you are in the play. It's like you're confident, you go and you make a good play, and then you just get a little bit too overconfident, and you don't discipline and take a step back and be like, okay, what's next? And you just get really tunnel visioned into what you want to do next, not necessarily what the team wants to do.
Yeah, and communicating with your team what the game plan is, and everyone making sure that they take a step back and take a look at their maps and have that discipline is going to be really important here. Because if they keep making plays like this, where they get ahead, but then they make a bad play and they fall behind, they're going to end up slowly losing out on the ability to play the game here. Especially with if you look at the gold distribution on Kansas here, that Syndra and that Jinx are getting very scary.
Yeah, I mean, the Syndra sitting at 3-0-2 and is actually on a Magi's. That's actually terrifying. Jinx's Yintao IE is gonna start hurting a lot in these
Yeah,
fights.
this Jinx is quite strong right now. It's gonna be the GA Atakan. Wasn't enough fighting to make it the ruinous one, or the voracious one. Sorry. Um,
It
in
is
my
very
opinion, this is the Atakan that is like the most annoying to deal with, because it feels like you really can't fight anything for a while.
well. If you're the team who doesn't have it, it's you get no value out of fighting, while the other
Exactly.
team gets all the value out of fighting.
hmm However, SAIT does pick up 2 tier 2s for the Otacon, which in my opinion is way more worth because now all they got to do is just sit around, wait for either like a really nice fight or just chill until the Otacon wears off.
I mean, if the fight looks really good and it's around, like, I mean, you have Baron coming up here in 3 minutes, you have next Dre coming up here in 2 minutes. I think if you are planning to fight with the Voracious Otacon GA, then you're gonna want to fight on that dragon, get them to get those resets, and then run straight to Baron for another fight. I think is your really big plan.
They could go for that. I think, in my opinion, I think they should look for the top side and look for those towers, which it looks like what they're leaning towards because this dragon is soul point for them, but it's also only second drag for Kansas. And what they could gain out of the top tier 2 and the top tier 1 is more worth it than flipping a fight on Dragon and Baron, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it looks like they're going to trade these different sides as well, anyways. So they're gonna trade
Yeah.
bot tier 1 for top tier 1. It looks like.
Yeah. In 1 minute's time here, it looks like they are resetting and are going to look for that Dragon contest, actually.
Sejuani is seen here on the top side. They do have free roam on the bot side jungle if they really want to go and do that.
Yeah, Sage should definitely be moving down here, trying to get that early vision on the jungle set. They can reset for their the vision. Oh, Dragon's actually spawning in 30 seconds. They don't have time to reset for anything. Syndra here is in a potentially really bad position, depending on where the Wukong goes here. It's going to get poked up a little bit, but ultimately it doesn't make a difference.
I still think this is a little slow. The Syndra is kind of in a legal position, but her team is coming to cover her.
Yeah, and especially with the solo laners, if they have TP, you definitely have to look at that for whether or not you want to go on them for the Atacon. But it has worn off now.
The set is gonna have to look for a TP here. Renekton's walking down to this possible Drake fight that's going to break out.
Yeah,
It looks
Renekton
like
already
SAIT is
here.
going to look for this.
Yeah, I definitely do think they should look if they're going to look. The Atacon's gone. This perfect timing here. Looks like the ulti's going to go out onto the clone even, actually. The Renekton's going to go into the backline to the Ashe, able to find it there. The Syndra is going to go down here. Or the Syndra is going to take out the Nautilus, sorry. Set, trying to get something done in the backline, but can't do it. Hui on the side, just trying to do what he can with the abilities, but isn't able to. The Renekton, full HP, everyone collapsing. And the Wukong ended up getting out at some point during that fight there.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like the
think
Dragon will go over to
just
Kansas.
Renekton getting on the back line there is just once again what was really, really hard getting on the Ashe. Ashe not being able to live and be able to hit was really unfortunate. And then Set is
Yeah.
on the other backline squishies there and can't really do anything to that Renekton.
Yeah, I'd like to see how the top side of that fight went there with the Wukong clone dashing out. Like the Sejuani all missing onto the clone is pretty big, I feel like, for SAIT, but I suppose they just weren't in position to peel the Ashe off of the Renekton.
Yeah, I mean, I think Renekton just ran through that entire front line and just went straight for Ashe.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing, everybody else just gets and got to a little bit too absorbed with the rest of the fight, I think, possibly.
I mean, peeling the carries for the set and the Nautilus is going to be pretty name of the game here. I don't even think they have enough to kill the Jinx on the back line here. So honestly, they're probably better off playing front to back while they can, and or try and split the fight at least. But right now, that Jinx is almost on what is that? That
Or Doms.
could be Dom's, or it could be a Mortal Reminder.
That's true. Though I don't think she takes Mortal Reminder. I think she does just take Lord Doms here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, three three of them are pretty tanky. Little arrow coming down here isn't gonna land on the Syndra. Is able to TP out and actually gonna TP to a Baron play. No Ashe arrow for this. Everyone is up here. We're gonna see the TP top from the Hui. Set is gonna end up walking up here and getting 1v1 by the Renekton. Renekton just gonna walk him down. Meanwhile, on the bottom side here, we got team fight going on here. Clone going in on
Oh.
the Wukong going onto the Syndra isn't going to quite be able to do it. The Ashe going to get one shot by the Syndra still. Hui walking out of this fight, unsure if it's going to be one or not. Jinx just going to chase here, flash past the Fear, is going to take out the Hui. That's going to be a clean 5-0 for Kansas and a Baron to boot.
I mean, this Baron here, they're pretty low. They're just going to push midwave here. They might actually try to go for the end. We have 15 seconds on the Ashe and the set and the Nautilus here, but I'm not sure. They're definitely going to be able to get the turret and the inhibitor here.
I definitely think, given the current state, they should definitely just look for that mid tower inhibitor and then get that base off. The Syndra right now is too valuable to die. Looking for a end. Arrow from the Ashe going to come down, hit onto Renekton. Not really going to be anything here. Should be able to dash out.
I really don't
Or
think that, or no. Syndra's
Syndra
here.
overstaying here. They are going to turn it, though. The two solo laners. Syndra ends up going down. That's going to be a big loss on the Magi stacks. Ultimate going to hit from downtown onto the Ashe. Renekton running back in here. He is so tanky. The rest of the team was able to base and follow up here. Renekton will fall in the end. But SAIT has to be careful here. It is a potential end angle here. The Shrelia is going to take down the Wukong. Hui trying to do what he can, but this Jinx is too fed. Just going to run down the whole team.
I think we are looking at game here. There's not much else that can be done. I mean, that play was a little greedy, I think. But I mean,
Yeah,
what else you can do?
definitely very greedy there from SAIT. But what more can you do? This Jinx has 3 items and is very strong along with the Syndra. So that is.
And you are looking at, congratulations, Kansas University for the NACE Championship Finals.
Yeah, Spring NACE
Good game.
2025 Spring
Good games.
Finals.
Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us. We appreciate you. We didn't introduce ourselves at the start, but I am
Yeah, a little bit
Graphico.
complicated. And I am
Home
Tyven.
Slice's Pepper.
Yep, Pepper.
Name
And,
dropping is crazy.
I'll name drop myself. That's okay. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and until next time.
Until next time.